Hey guys, welcome back to Spilling the Reality with Trisha and Kiley, where we have all of the live feed updates on everything going on Big Brother. So we're excited today to talk about POV ceremony and the major fallouts that are happening from there. So we will be talking with you guys live. So if you're watching with us live, drop us a comment as we go through the episode, and we'll be sure to capture your thoughts, talk about your questions, and talk about anything that you guys are feeling, hearing, seeing. So yesterday we left off with the POV ceremony was happening right whenever we ended our show yesterday. But we also know that Danny had this huge plan that she was going to bring take the nominees out of the POV ceremony, ask them to leave the room while they had a discussion.
I come to Jesus with Day.
let's start there.
Okay, so before the veto ceremony, like while we were doing our show yesterday, Memphis and Danny have a conversation. And Memphis goes to Danny and he's like, I think this is a really terrible idea. Like, you're completely overplaying this, and if you do this, it's going to look really bad on you. And why does it matter that much? Because ultimately, whoever is up there against Tyler, we're going to send home anyways. Like, why are we doing all of this extra stuff for Ian? And I mean, who is this Memphis that is talking sense here?
that is actually making sense, actually has strategy, and is talking sense into Danny.
Right. And so, I mean, we wanted this to happen in the veto ceremony because it would have been such a cluster F to watch. But yeah, strategy wise, it would have been really terrible. So Danny is like, oh, maybe we shouldn't do that. And she tells Nicole, like, hey, Memphis came and talked to me and he told me that this isn't a good idea. So I don't think that we should do that. And besides, like, I don't want to make Day look stupid. So this gets nixed before the veto ceremony.
Yeah, he, pretty much tells her that this isn't going to make Devon change her mind for one, and this is just going to make Danny look really bad. So Memphis saves the day. Not our entertainment, but definitely saves the day when it comes to Danny trying to make this sabotage move. But I am really interested to know what production's answer was. Like, is this allowed? I want to know. They didn't address that.
Like I said, I would have rather them just go for it and not said anything. Like, that, what would they have done? Like, stop the veto ceremony in the middle of it and been like, no, you can't do this. Bring them back in. But then by the same token, if this would have happened and I was Kevin, I'd be like, hell no, I'm not leaving this chair. You can say whatever you want to say while I'm here. Like, you will have to drag me out of it by my cold dead hands. Like, no chance.
Yeah, I would have absolutely not left.
Yeah.
So that would have been interesting. But anyways, it apparently didn't happen because Memphis talked her out of it, which was smart.
Thanks,
all right,
Memphis.
So moving into the POV ceremony, we cut while we were on our show yesterday, and they came back, and y'all, All Stars has officially begun. Devon did use the power of veto on Kevin. Yeah, and the replacement nom was
Ian.
Yeah, Ian, which we talked about all the hypotheticals yesterday, and we didn't like this one, but here we are. No one listens to us.
Yeah, so we do get Ian up on the block. Of course, they're telling Ian that he is the pawn, and they plan to blindside Day and David and Kevin. Like, this is what the committee's plan is. So,
yeah, so as of right now, the committee, as of this moment in the House, the committee plans, they're putting up Ian, but they plan to vote out Ian.
Yeah. So we know that during her speech during the POV ceremony, that apparently it was really long and it has the committee members annoyed that she took this time to get her piece out there, like how dare Davon make something about her and not be about them. And even Kevin, though, must have thought that she wasn't going to use it because she had her speech and then she says something to the effect of, however, and then takes Kevin off of the block. So Kevin should be feeling really happy, but when the feeds come back up, he's still kind of moping around like Eeyore and just not very happy. I guess he's, trying to be mindful of the situation, that it's upsetting for some people, but Kevin should be happy, but he's
Well,
trying
who
to
was
stay calm.
happy? Davon was happy, and this made Christmas Danny and Nicole mad that she was so happy during her POV speech. Like, not only did she give a long speech, that pissed them off, but also that she gave a happy speech and was like so full of energy, that made them mad too. And I could honestly see how Danny could be mad, because like, if they're working together, you're making me get more blood on my hands. But also, Davon has no reason to trust these people. Not one person in this house should she trust.
Yeah. So what's really funny about this is that when the feeds come back up, like, we immediately get Nicole crying, and she's just upset. She's having to be consoled, and she's saying that I'm so mad at Davon. Like, this is Davon's fault. Not any of y'all's fault for being in an alliance with every single person in the house, but this is Davon's fault for saving the one person that she has on her side. This makes sense. Like, you're not pissed at Danny for not putting up Memphis or Enzo. We're pissed at Davon because she used what she won.
Yeah, she used what she won, and she also, again, she has no reason to trust anyone in this house.
Right. Because they were lying to her. Like, they were going to vote Kevin out.
Yeah, from a game perspective, they should be able to see that she has no reason to trust them. Like, why wouldn't she? If they were in their position, Davon absolutely, she made the right move here.
Yeah. But I mean, like, for them to be pissed because you didn't fall for our trick on you. You bitch.
Yeah.
That's literally what they're basically saying. Like, we were lying to you. We were going to vote your friend out, and you did not trust us, and you took him off the block, and now we have to vote out Ian. You bitch. This is all your fault.
Dragon Monkey, hey, you're back.
Hey, Dragon Monkey.
She says, Nicole crying is needed for continued balance in the universe. And we're not surprised.
Yeah, it goes too long.
She was also crying last night because she knew Ian was going to go on the block, and I do believe she's genuinely upset about Ian going on the block. She continued to be upset last night. Throughout the night, she would spend time by herself. She would talk about how upset she was. I do think she genuinely does not want Ian to go, and she feels very torn with this. But I think that's also why she's pissed at Davon, because she's putting that upset feeling on Davon. Like, it's your fault Ian is up. No, bitch, Danny put him up. Like, it's not Davon's fault. She could have put anyone else up. But, anyways.
So ridiculous, but, what do you expect?
Yeah, so, anyways, what do you expect with this cast? So, Nicole's upset. Nicole's upset at Davon. Nicole's upset that Ian is up. She's blaming Davon. Low-key, like, it's not, like, those words aren't being said, but that's the summary.
Yeah, and we also get Nicole transitioning to being annoyed with Danny, because Danny is like, hey, Nicole, you realize that you cannot give Ian a sympathy vote, because if you do, it's going to be a 4-4 tie, and I'm going to have to break the tie. And that's not fair to me, so you can't give Ian a vote. And she says this to her multiple times throughout the day, and Nicole's getting very, very annoyed with this. And once again, I can see this from Nicole's standpoint. I mean, if Ian is your friend and you don't want to vote him out and Danny wants to, then make Danny do it. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Which is also why I'd be a terrible Big Brother player.
Way too salty to go in that house.
Yeah.
But this goes back to, us having conversations about vote how you really want. And honestly,
Yeah.
that's how Ian plays. And so,
Yeah.
like, in his memory, if he's going to be the one that goes home, vote how he would vote. Vote how you want to vote. I would like. So we talked about these hypotheticals yesterday. So I'm trying not to go down that path again. But if I were
Okay.
in the Big Brother house, I mean, I think I would. I don't know. Like, I feel like Ian and Tyler are equal targets in my head.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a
Yeah.
wrong one going home this week.
I mean, I think that with these two people up on the block, I think it's dumb if they leave Tyler in because Tyler is going to win competitions and Tyler's got the numbers surrounding him. So if you can send Tyler out, I think it's very stupid not to. Ian may be more strategic, maybe, but I mean, Tyler is very strategic too, but Ian doesn't have the numbers. So I think Ian could be taken out later easily. But
Yeah. I mean, he could go next week. He hasn't won any competitions.
yeah, so everyone in the house has won a competition except for Nicole and Ian, the two winners. So if their strategy is to lay low and to not get blood on their hands, they are accomplishing that. Unfortunately, like we've been saying for weeks, Ian laid too low and kind of let the game get past him. So that's
Yeah.
why he's in this situation.
So we've seen this, gameplay this season, especially where they constantly say, "Well, we're just going to vote the HOH way. We're going to vote how the HOH wants." So let's talk a little bit about where's Danny's head in all of this. Who is Danny wanting to go home?
Yeah, so I mean, it started off with it definitely looked like she was taking this swing at Tyler. If she wanted to, the numbers could have been there. We'll get into more of that later, but no, she's just saying that Ian is her target. There's no way. I mean, Tyler, if you have heard that I wanted to get you out this week, those are lies. I would never want you out of this house.
Yeah, and she does have conversations about she doesn't trust Tyler, and
Yeah,
then
but she's
but then she
yeah,
goes to Tyler and is like, "Hey Tyler, I have to play this game of like I'm not really with you, so I'm talking shit about you."
yeah,
So and
but
Tyler's like, "I understand," and so it's
yeah,
like, "Okay, all right, well then." But then Tyler has a conversation with Enzo, and he's like, "I don't trust that girl at all."
yeah,
So we're definitely seeing some fallout here. Danny and Tyler really don't trust each other as much as
yeah,
they're faking it with each other. They do not trust each other. We've seen this build up for weeks now.
yeah.
Yeah,
Christmas in Memphis, they're also kind of done with Danny. Nicole's kind of annoyed with Danny. So, Danny, girl, you better play that power next week because your alliance could definitely shift on you. So, I hope she
yeah,
realizes this.
yeah. We thought Christmas had a bad HOH run, but here we are with Danny. She
Yeah.
might have has it way worse.
Yeah, she's doing very, very terrible. So,
Yeah. All right. So we know Ian goes on the block. We have a few comments over here about this, so let's just go ahead and talk about it. Ian's campaign strategy and his talk about self evicting.
yeah, so Ian is sitting there and he's kind of starting to realize, this is weird that I got put up on the blog. And the last time I was put on the blog, I was also told that I was a pawn. And back then, he won the veto and took himself off. But obviously, he didn't win the veto this time. So, hey, they might be trying to vote me out, and he's kind of starting to realize it. And so we see him start campaigning, and he's campaigning pretty hardcore. And his campaign strategy is to tell people, if you have anything to do with getting me out of this house, then I'm not going to vote for you. Like, he's straight up telling them, I'm going to be a bitter jury member. And then he even kind of shifts to this talk of, in fact, I'm not going to the jury house. Screw that. Not
Okay.
doing it.
Yeah. He ain't having it. He's telling them that, well, hey, you want to get rid of me? Well, I'm not going to be
I'm
any
going
help
all
to
the way
you.
home.
Yep. He said, this little piggy is going wee all the way home. I am not going to that jury house. I ain't helping a single one of you. So there is no point in voting me out.
Yeah, and he even tells Nicole, "Hey, just so you know that I'm not going to be at the jury house to convince these people to vote for a winner a second time. So you better make sure that I don't leave." And I mean, I kind of like this strategy of Ian's where he's like strong arming them and,
He is
you
going
know,
rogue.
yeah, he's just letting them know that he's not here for their shit. So, I mean, he has zero chance, y'all. I mean, absolutely zero chance of staying this week. Not only did he have not a very good chance, anyways, because best case scenario, it was going to come down to a tie. But we also are getting these talks of David out here, just another strategic mastermind, y'all. And he says, we should flip the votes and we should get Ian voted out. So sweet little David, sweet little Davon, sweet little Kevin, being just as lost as they are every week, they decide that Tyler's on the outs with this group. He'll be a number for our side. Let's flip the votes. Let's keep Tyler and let's send Ian home. We don't care. And I mean, from that perspective, they're right a little bit. They don't care. Ian's not ever really been working with them, anyways. So it's not a big loss to them to lose Ian. But the strategy of flipping the votes, well, that was already their plan. So this is the best case scenario for Nicole because then she's going to be able to give Ian that pity vote and there's not going to be any backlash onto Danny. So I think it'll be, I mean, I think Nicole will throw him his pity vote and then it'll be unanimous.
Yeah. It's hilarious that David thinks that he's going to flip the votes here. We're going to vote out Ian instead. He's talking to Davon about this, and Davon is like, but I still think Tyler's a bigger threat here.
Yeah.
And then David's like, well, Tyler would go after Danny before he comes after us, right?
Yeah.
And so then, they kind of land there. So there's still a lot. I mean, there's still a lot of game to be played before Thursday eviction and a lot of campaigning to be done. This could change any moment. But yeah, as of today, Ian is going home.
Yeah. I don't see. Yeah, I just don't see it ever getting any better than, it going to Danny for the tie. But you never know. It is Big Brother.
I think they should just tie it. Like, I hope they just tie it.
I would tie it, make Danny do it. Absolutely. That's what I would do.
Let's look at some of our comments over here. Dragon Monkey says, it would be sick if there was a battle back, but Ian is the only one competing.
I mean, Dragon Monkey, we've had our hopes up so much this season. We wanted to see this with Janelle and Kaser and them being the only two that got to battle back. Obviously, that didn't happen. I mean, I really think that they will do a jury battle back, but not if the jury members all walk. I mean, Tyler's threatened to leave. He said he's not going to the jury house and sitting there. Ian says he's going to leave. So I hope production's got some plans because they're not going to have a jury at the end of this. So
yeah, David goes to jury and he doesn't know what he's supposed to be doing there. He's probably going to play harder in jury than he has in the
goes to the round table and evicts Will.
Yeah.
Bless him.
Let's talk about Memphis's game. Emily Peterson says, low-key, I think Memphis is playing the best game. What are your thoughts on that? Okay, let's not talk about. We'll keep it personal to the side.
Let me take everything personal with Memphis out of the way. So, yeah, I do think Memphis is playing a pretty good game. He had his HOH reign where everybody was kind of like, this dude is crazy. We need to get him out of here. And since then, he's completely faded into the background. And he is building some stronger relationships. He's got this relationship with Christmas where they're pretty close. But I mean, Christmas isn't going to replace Tyler with him, but Memphis is building a kind of a stronger connection there. So it's interesting. Nobody's wanting to target him because of his back injury. I would love it if he came in to the DR and was like, hey, I've been playing up this back injury for weeks. These people aren't going to get rid of me now. I realized I was coming off as a competition threat and owned the strategy of it, but I think that he's legitimately hurt, and Big Brother hasn't even shown it. I mean, they showed the one clip of him like jumping during that veto competition, and they've never explained anything else about his back.
Yeah. So yeah, he's absolutely not on anyone's radar this week. I mean, he very well could have been put up as a pawn if they were really wanting to put up a pawn, and they didn't. So Memphis is absolutely playing a great game. Personal wise, he's not doing so great when it comes to perspective outside of the house. So if he is the winner, that would be rough. We're gonna have another Jackson Mickey walk out of the house. Well, obviously there's no audience, but
maybe not as bad as Jackson Mickey, but still.
Ed says Memphis is everyone's third.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's a really good way to say it. Like, nobody wants to target him right now, but no one really wants to take him to the end either. So he's playing a good enough game that I think he's going to go far. So he's
Dragon
here.
Monkey also says Memphis owns the house in the business hours, 10 a.m. to 2200.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Memphis shuts it down. He gets his 14 hours of sleep every night, and don't interrupt it.
And he's done.
Yeah. So it's interesting, but I've got to resign myself to the fact that the committee they're going to be the final 7-8 people. One or two others may be stuck in there, but I mean, they're just week after week just chopping these people down.
Yeah.
I mean, for a not cohesive alliance, they're running the shit out of this game.
Yeah, and not to talk too much about BB21 because that was a shit show of the season. We have a comment that says Jackson Mickey may have been controversial, but he was the better game player season 21. Well, yes, the person next to him was Holly, who had 0 games. So he was definitely the better player for sure, but against a cast of terrible players.
Ed also asks, can Kevin catch fire? So this is interesting. We get a tweet from Janelle where she sends out a clip from Kevin's first season where he is just in someone's face, screaming and yelling. What was the guy's name with the glasses?
I don't remember.
Ronnie. And he's in Ronnie's face and he's yelling and he's cursing and just bringing the fire. So we know that it's in there, Kevin, but Kevin is kind of taking the Keisha approach and really laying low. And we want to see that, we want to see some turn up and play and make it interesting.
Otherwise, Kevin's going to go on the block every single week, probably.
Every week until
just as a pawn.
Eventually gets voted out because no one's left.
Yeah.
So.
And if Kevin was up next to Tyler this week, this is what annoys me, y'all. So if Kevin was up next to Tyler, I still get annoyed that they were talking still about sending Kevin home.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, what? Okay, so then you put Ian next to Tyler, and you're like, I'm going to send Ian home because he's the better game player. Well, Tyler was the better game player next to Ian. It's a whole mess.
Yeah. You know what? They all deserve for Tyler to win. I mean, you didn't take advantage and send him out. Right. You didn't take advantage of it and send him out when he was asking to go home pre-jury. You didn't have the opportunity. You don't take this opportunity with him sitting on the block on eviction night. And the numbers could have possibly been there. And so, you know what, Tyler, you deserve to win. Forget all these people.
Ed says, no, Tyler goes over Kevin. That's how we would vote if we were in the house. But there is still talk about Kevin going just because Tyler is in that big alliance. And then Ed says Ian goes over Tyler, and that's what seems to be happening, yes.
Okay. So I really like this one. How do you think Enzo's doing? His social game is excellent. Yeah, so I think that Enzo is playing a top 2 game right now. Everybody likes Enzo. No one wants to target Enzo. He has won some competitions. Somehow he has made himself a part of this alliance, even though he wasn't in the alliance. And I mean, even Memphis, who created it, was pissed whenever Danny was throwing around her options for the renomination and was considering doing Enzo over Ian. And Memphis was like, she better not. You better not.
She better.
And so, Memphis is standing up for Enzo, like that you better not vote him out over Ian or put him up over Ian because Ian's not part of the alliance. Neither is Enzo, but Enzo's got such a great social game that everybody's kind of overlooking him.
You better not!
I just had to get it in there.
Actually, the you better not that I think of more than anything. Have any of y'all seen the Jack? No, gosh, what's his name?
Nope.
Hold on, I'm gonna Google it.
Okay,
I'm tell y'all what
you
it
think
came
of that.
from.
You think of that because
You go
I
on.
have a thing to say on Enzo, and even Enzo knows he's playing a great game. He has a conversation with Tyler last night where he's like, I don't even know why they put you up. They should have put me up if they had someone else as a pawn, because I definitely wouldn't have gone home. Is what Enzo and Tyler they agree that Tyler and Enzo agree that Enzo should have gone up in Tyler's place. That way this vote would definitely not be split. So that's just how good of a game Enzo really is playing. I will say I was a doubter of Enzo at first with his meow meow and his yo-yo, but he's really come a long way in these past few weeks.
He's playing the hell out of the game. The movie is Orange County with Jack Black, and if you've not seen it, it's super funny. And he has this great line where there's a fire, and he says, "She said I'm gonna burn this mother down," and I said, "You better not. You better not." So, just check that out, guys.
I also like this comment from Team Rooney. It says, I have autism similar to Ian. Thanks for speaking up for him. Yeah, we are glad that you said this because we get the comments, y'all. The comments after the video is posted are just, there's trolls out there, and they troll us so hard and say some crazy things. So I'm glad I wanted to pop this up for the haters who always have something to say whenever we talk about Ian's autism. But we are definitely advocates for the autism community and think that Ian's doing great no matter what.
Yep.
Ed says Enzo has to go double eviction night.
Yeah,
now that would be if Enzo goes to the end, he wins.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Enzo, Tyler, Cody, those are the 3 they need to be focusing on getting out of the house because those 3 are the best setup to win the game. And I mean, now, they've got Tyler up on the block and they're already thinking, okay, well, next week, and Tyler's name is nowhere mentioned. So he's finagled his way back into good standing.
I saw this tweet before we get to Cam's comment. Like, I saw this tweet that said that they're paying the house guests like an extra $5,000 if they do not send Tyler home.
Yeah, I think that was on the incorrect BB update.
Yes, I love that account.
Yeah, that's funny. Cam K, Enzo is real easily the best deceiver in the house. The way he speaks to his opposition is like he's 100% on their side. Yeah, everybody believes Enzo, so you know what? Maybe I'm here to root for the meow meow. I don't know anymore, guys. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. Dragon Monkey says he listens to Miley Cyrus, a true winner, and Hannah Montana was here on our show yesterday, so if y'all didn't catch that, be sure to go watch our show from yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
Well, let's do our tweet of the day really quick. So
okay, y'all drop us some more comments while we do our tweet of the day.
So we're going to get to our tweet of the day. So let me pop that up on the screen. And it comes from not a Big Brother player, but this account has golden tweets. So if you do not follow at Mel Brown, MELBROWN00, this account provides great Twitter content. So check him out. His tweet says it's a picture of Davon looking like very dissatisfied. It says the way we all should chip in on getting the best chiropractor in Los Angeles for Davon. She's been carrying this season on her back all this time. That's freaking hilarious. We need to know where to cash out to Davon or to a chiropractor in LA to get her back fixed, because this girl.
Yeah.
If Davon, we haven't talked about Davon getting to the end. Let's talk about Davon getting to the end. Does she win?
I mean, I don't know, because there's no way she's getting to the end.
Okay, but if she does.
I'm going to give it a less than 5% chance that Davon is there on finale night. I would love it, but it's not going to happen. You just need to resign yourself too. So she's not going to be there.
Kylie,
who could Davon win against? I mean, I don't know, because like Memphis, I mean, what? I don't know.
She could win against, I think, Danny. She could win against her, because no one really likes Danny in his house right now. Yeah. So if it comes down to a bitter jury, maybe. But Davon is a talker, and I think if she gets to the end, she could give a great speech. She could beat
Davon. Davon beats David. And I mean, I love Davon. I just worry about. I don't see that there's any path for her to get to the end. So I can't even imagine.
But listen, if she does get to the end, that means she fought really hard to get there.
Right.
And she deserves to win.
Nicole Francel better vote for her ass. That's what I know.
She better.
You better.
Yeah, David getting to the end. If David and Davon get to the end, that would be the absolute most shocking final two.
Yeah.
I agree, Dragon Monkey. Day could beat most people, especially with the bitter jury. I agree. I think she could, and she can talk.
Yeah,
so well.
I mean,
we saw her
I don't know.
Skills.
Right. I don't know who. I mean, I'm not saying that she couldn't beat people. I just can't put it in my mind that she's ever going to get there. So
well, she's playing a hell of a game right now. She's playing as hard as she possibly can. I think
she's playing hard, and she's playing entertaining, and that's all that matters.
We love her, and when she goes, the rest of this season sucks officially.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, who's going to be entertaining? Like, Danny's not entertaining. Memphis isn't entertaining. Tyler has boring ass DRs. Kevin has the second best DRs because he's funny sometimes when he's not, moping.
Yeah, we're not going to have entertaining DRs at all. Like, I'm just
none. David,
my wheels are starting to turn, and I'm like so sad.
There's nobody. Christmas, Nicole. No. I mean, y'all. Enzo's the only entertaining one left. How could we forget Enzo? So there's 3 entertaining people left in the house. We cannot lose them. 2.5.
Preserve them at all costs.
2.5 entertaining people.
There haven't been any wall yellers this week, knock on wood. There's probably one right now. There haven't been any wall yellers this week. That's been nice.
What, since yesterday?
There was one yesterday?
Well, no, but there was some while you were gone. There was 2 while you were gone.
Oh, okay. So I literally mean like the week of 9/14.
Monday. The week since yesterday.
Okay, you didn't tell me yesterday that there were.
Okay, like I said, there was a lot of stuff to catch you up on. So, oh my gosh.
Yeah, we agree with this comment. I'm sorry, but King David still in the game is a little shocking to me. It is shocking. And you know what? The only reason he's still there is because of Davon. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Another player she's carrying. I wouldn't say, and I don't want to say that Davon is carrying this game, but she is everybody, because she's not in an alliance with everybody to carry
Right.
them. But she's carrying our entertainment right there on her back.
Absolutely. I mean, there's been 2 entertaining things this whole season. One we're going to get to see play out tonight with the veto, and the other one we are going to. The other one was the fight. So Davon 2 for 2 on entertaining things this season, and Kaser's eviction speech 3.
Yes. Danny says, I'm so effing sick of the live feeds cutting every time they start to talk game. Or is it just me? No, It's 100% not you. In fact, I was like trying to find the banner for today, and I was like, we should just put up stars, because that's pretty much what the feeds are at all times. It's just the stars or puppies.
There's an account out there that tweets out what percentage of the day was stars, and I mean, it's something like 33% of the day. I mean, that's a really big percentage, especially when so much of that is them sleeping. You know, like take out sleeping,
Right.
and when it stars, we don't get a whole lot of content. So
it's honestly shocking we have things to bring y'all every day. That's what's really shocking. Dragon Monkey says, plot twist, David's playing the best game in BB history, and it will all make sense in the end.
Pink-haired Aiden, did you change your name?
Yeah. Is this Aiden?
Aiden, did you change your name to Dragon Monkey? Because this sounds like you.
Yeah. If for whatever reason David's game ends up making sense in the end, my mind will absolutely be like major blown, because the
Once
things
again,
he says,
even
like,
a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. Just stumbles
Christina
upon.
gives us a little bit of a hot take. She says, I'm not surprised that David is still there. He's not much of a threat as the others like Janelle or Kaser were.
Sure. I mean, he's a goat. I mean, they're just dragging him to the end. He's that super easy person to sit next to in final 2, or to take to the final 3 and cut on finale night.
But they keep talking about sending him home. That's why it's shocking to me, because they keep.
Well, I mean, I think that this would have been
talking
David's week if he hadn't won that power. So good for him.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely would have been the one to go home.
Dragon Monkey also says, now you are coming up with conspiracies. We are members of the Cat Dunn Conspiring Bitches fan club.
Fan group?
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're conspiring bitches here.
Also, if y'all didn't see Kat, if y'all don't follow Kat, because we have her on our screen like regularly because her Twitter is a gold mine, she tweeted her conspiracies on Danny's HOH letter, which we put up on our Instagram, the HOH letter. But y'all, this girl is hilarious. Like, she's like, she says that Dominic is telling Danny to keep Davon, and she like highlights all these reasons how he's coded and that she broke the code. Well, so good.
Yeah, she's such a mess. It's so funny. Any other good takes out there, guys?
Cole says, I can't believe Danny thinks she's pulling the strings. Yeah, I mean, Danny does really think she is playing a good game. And
no, people have been on to Danny for a while, and then this HOH reign has really tanked her. So I hope Danny plays her power, because she's going to look like a fool if she doesn't. Which they may not even take the shot at her, but.
Yeah, if David's playing dumb and saying things out of the ordinary is all an act, he fooled me. He fooled all of us, the whole world. Yeah. Like, even his own Twitter account, like whoever's running his Twitter account, which I assume is like a good friend of his, is like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
So
they on the regular are cracking on him.
What I do want to say about David is this season has been so stressful when it comes to the controversial things that people say and do in this house. David just hasn't been one of those that's been controversial or saying dumb things that are like politically incorrect, and I can appreciate that. I can appreciate David for that
Yeah.
genuine entertainment value.
All right. So Ed asks, who is the top woman left in the game? Don't make me say it. I don't want to admit it.
You don't want to say Nicole Franzel?
Yeah, it's Nicole. I mean, she's the top woman left in the game.
And that's it. That's all.
It.
Hallie doesn't want to say anything about it. I mean, the thing is she is positioned really well. She is in really good with Cody, who I think Cody's playing the best game in my opinion, just because he isn't on anyone's radar when it comes to like actually putting him up. And he's friends with everybody, and she's in really good with him. So her having that relationship with Cody is great for her game.
Yeah.
Also, nobody ever talks about putting her up.
Well, but there are some talks. I mean, we are starting to see a little bit David and Kevin, and a little bit Davon, which I don't think Davon would put Nicole up, but David and Kevin are like, we're going to put up Cody and Nicole together. So, okay, come on, Kevin, come on, David for HOH. I think that Day would make a big move also. We really, really need one of those three to win HOH, but especially Kevin. Like, I think Kevin would for sure do it. I worry a little bit about David because he is so close with Tyler, and I worry that Tyler would be able to sway him.
Yeah. I worry. I really worry if David gets to HOH in general, like, well, just what would happen, because he's so unpredictable. But yeah, Nicole's definitely, I would agree, she is playing the best game. But on a positive, a female's not going home this week.
Yeah.
There are 2 males on the block, and as of today, it's going to be, here's Aiden. Aiden joined the chat. David for HOH, yes. So y'all, if you haven't been watching with us, Aiden has promised us that he will dye his hair pink if David does not win.
But has anyone seen David and Dragon Monkey in the room at the same time?
Right. That's the real question. Maybe
Dragon
both
Monkey
of y'all in here. Dragon
and
Monkey
Aiden,
disappeared.
we need you to comment at the same time.
They're obviously both David fans.
Yeah. David's 2 biggest fans are in the chat.
We all agree that David as HOH would absolutely be hilarious.
Yeah.
Because it would be unpredictable. But it wouldn't be hilarious when he puts Davon
and
because
Kevin.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
That's what we would get.
He's going to put up Davon and Kevin. Conspiracy over.
We need you to tap at the same time. 1, 2, 3, go.
We're going to add both of y'all to the live.
Oh my gosh. So.
All right, guys. Well, that brings us to the end of our show today. Don't forget that there's an episode tonight, a Tuesday night episode throwing me off. So there's a Tuesday night episode tonight. We expect we'll see the veto and all of that. So that's exciting.
All out from David's power.
And David's power, and we'll get to see all of this. So the exciting things on the episode tonight, and then the next episode will be on Thursday.
Yeah,
we still get the eviction on Thursday. Yeah, so there's an episode tonight. Yes, y'all, there's an episode tonight. So don't forget to check that out. So when we come back tomorrow at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time, we will be talking about the episode and anything that happened on the feeds last night. And also, if you watched the challenge, we think it was really funny, hilarious cast analysis last night on this channel. So go check that out. If you are looking for another show to watch and you are a Big Brother fan, hot take, I would say that the challenge is more entertaining than Big Brother, but you don't get live feeds on Big Brother. So if you're looking for something more intense, and there's Big Brother players on there looking for all of the drama, alcohol, hookups, all of that, check out the challenge. We will be doing takes on that as well. So go check out our cast analysis, which we had a lot of fun doing, to say the least. Drop us some
let
comments.
us know who you like on the challenge and tell us why it's Fessy Shaft.
Stop. And if there were some of the players we legit we couldn't find very much information on. So if there's something you know about them because you watched one of the shows they're on, drop us a comment. Because we're doing a draft next week with these players. So we need your takes on the players. And then I'm trying to find the comment. Cajun reseller. Where is it at? Gonna find it. It's up here. There it is, right here. All right. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Give us a comment on your thoughts on everything going on in the Big Brother house, your thoughts on today's episode. And don't forget to subscribe to the Russell Hantz Show so that way you get notifications every time we go live. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, then let us know. If you're hating what you're seeing, also let us know. We will gladly we will gladly take all the hate. That we're here for the trolls. They're our favorite. Them trolls. So anyways, y'all, cheers to today. We will see everyone back tomorrow at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. Tonight there should be a live episode, or tonight, well, Cameron will go live after the episode, so be sure to check that out. All right, guys, we will see y'all tomorrow at 12 o'clock.